His name is Terry and he really doesn't give a fuck. He calls you out on your bullshit and tell you what you can suck. Oh, he's not afraid to call them retards, and he will back his shit up. They call him Uncle Terry and he truly doesn't give a fuck.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Slap Chat Live. I am your host, Terry Dunning. And as usual, I got a lot of shit to talk about in a short time to do so. Plus, it's Valentine's Day, and I'm sure a lot of you are looking to get laid. So let me get straight into it. The first thing I want to get into, let me bring this up, is I want to get into what I've heard, leaked information, what I've heard about people from Power Slap being involved with the game, the show. Now, I do want to be clear. I've never watched the show. I know nothing about it. I've been informed that it's like a contest of knowledge or something like that. But again, I do not know much about the show. What I can tell you about it is that at least two champions, based on the information I have from Power Slap, were contacted. I will not name one of them because I do not want to blow any opportunity. But one of them was Isaiah, the middleweight champ over in Power Slap. I can also say that people from the PLN network were also contacted in a talent pool, if you will, to compete in a champion face-off, if you will. And those included people from PLN sports such as Coffin Wars, Card Jitsu, as well as other talents, if you will, without naming anybody just yet. So that's what I can say about it, that people have been contacted to compete in this game, the floor that's hosted by Rob Lowe. And those are some of the sports, if you will, that we're familiar with, the faces that compete in them, that they have looked at to grab talent from. Now, the next thing I want to cover here, and give me just a second, I'm going to disappear for just a moment. I want to cover this week's Yard Tard. And I picked Zakir for many reasons. I'm sure a lot of you guys see him on social media doing some stupid shit that's not related to slap fighting at all. I don't get what blowing up balloons to lift a car has to do with slap fighting. But his most recent video, and I'm going to bring it up here. Let me switch this out. Just so everybody knows what I'm talking about. All right. Let's see here. If anybody has seen this video, I want you to watch what this guy does. Now you see his hands there. He's holding a knife that's strapped to a motorcycle that's pulling. Now this is one reason why he made this week's Yard Tard. I don't get this, why he's doing that to begin with. This guy should be practicing on not clubbing people. But this is the same hand he used to club his way into the rankings. And keep in mind, this guy does compete here in about 2 weeks in Power Slap at Power Slap 18. So that's why Zakir has earned this week's Yard Tard recognition. Now, the next thing I do want to get into, let me go ahead and just get back over here to my shit and get him off there. All right, the next thing I want to get into is I put out a post about Smiley getting a 15-year sentence. And one person questioned why I'm putting personal business out there. And I won't mention his name because, I don't want to bully or knock him, but that's what I do. If you're new to this platform, that's exactly what I do. I don't cover just the good, and I do focus on the fighters more than the promotions. If people remember me calling out Paige Van Zandt, we have yet to see Paige Van Zandt or hear much about her, at least when it comes to Power Slap. I've called out Crazy before on accusations. Just most recently the Smiley thing, and people are saying what I call out personal business. This is public information. I'm just sharing it. Other platforms will not cover this information. I want to be clear. There's platforms out there who will not talk about arrest records and things like that. Let me just jump over here in the chat. Okay, just making sure I'm not missing anything. There is platforms that will not discuss it. If I've had fighters come over and say, "Man, we have gone to the news nuts over there, the testicles," and say they won't talk about this. People feel on coke or for cocaine and shit like that. If I know and I can prove it, I will bring it up. That's it's information. And let's keep in mind, it draws attention. And I don't do it to bring heat on the sport. I do it in hopes that the people that are fucking up and making the sport look bad will fix whatever they're doing wrong in their lives and become a good example. Or get the fuck out of the sport because you don't belong when you're doing stupid shit. So that's why I do it, man. I am the only platform that will cover such topics as people getting 15-year sentences. And I will say there's another person I'm waiting for confirmation this week that's probably getting a long prison sentence as well. I won't mention his name until I get confirmation, but there is another person that was in some legal trouble, and I'll probably be talking about it next week. Now, the next thing I'd like to bring up is the Florida Man Games. I do cover a lot of different sports now, or a couple of different sports, crazy sports on this platform. And the Florida Man Games is one of them. Next week on February 21st, they do have an event down there in Bradenton, Florida at the Freedom Factory. And one of the people that will be competing in that is Larry Donnelly, our Interview of the Year winner. He'll be there as well as my friend Chris Green, I've interviewed before, and Power Slap Combine prospect Kid Lava. So that's just a couple names, as well as some very famous talent. Matt Riddle and Indy Hartwell, both of formerly of WWE, will be there, and a lot of famous influencers. So if you haven't gotten tickets yet, you need to do so. Hit it up at thefloridamangames.com. Get your tickets. Man, this is one of the most comical sport events there is in the country, probably on the planet. Now, another thing that's coming up, I do want to cover again because I know people are, they got families, girlfriends, and stuff like that trying to do shit. I know I bought my girlfriend a hot outfit, and I can't wait to fucking see her in just a few minutes. So I'm trying to rush this. I don't mean to be cramming it in quick, but I do want to get something out there. Punch or Slap Fight on February 28th does have an event coming out of South Africa. I do want to cover something. I've asked Robert repeatedly about streaming, and I get he's explained to me the problem. In South Africa, they do not have Wi-Fi like we do here in this country and some other countries like the UK. So they have to bring in kind of, if you will, hotspots and shit like that. I'm trying to figure out exactly what they use. And that's been a big issue. But Robert has promised me that this one will be streamed more accessible to the people here in the US. Because I know some people were having issues with TikTok and shit like that. So I will get that information to you again. That takes place February 28th. And Robert will get me those details here very soon, so that I can get that information to you guys and we don't miss that event. Also, my coverage of Run Nation. I've spoken to Tremaine, the owner of Run Nation, and I've worked out something with him where I'm going to be covering the sport, some events, making announcements, doing interviews, stuff like that. So look forward to that. I think the sport's going to grow, and there's a lot in common with the fan base, if you will. So I know a lot of fans that watch this sport have brought up and asked me, "Hey, have you seen this new sport?" Yes, I have, and I'm working on arrangements to start interviewing more people. I may even add a second night of live interviews and stuff like that, or live coverage, and start doing just Run Nation. That's still, to be determined. With that said, I also want to thank everybody from New Zealand and Australia, all my new followers, for following this platform. I appreciate you guys. I love the fact that you guys have caught on to this platform, and I just want to welcome you guys. Last thing I want to get into, man, and this is a personal thing about my life, but I recently took on a really good job after the new year, and one of the people that interviewed me happened to be a huge fan of Ron. And when I told him about my coverage of the sport and, how I knew Ron personally, and that's how I kind of got into it, I can almost say that that's how I got this job. So there is a fan base growing, And Ron, I do want to personally thank you. I reached out to you personally, but I do want to publicly thank you, man. Just knowing you did help me get a really good job out here in Vegas that I'm super happy with, and it's paying really good. So this sport is starting to grow, and I'm starting to get to see people, in daily lives. I go to the store, and people are starting to know who I am now and talk about my slap fight coverage and shit like that. So it may not have grown as fast as Power Slap made it out to be, but I do know the sport is growing, and it's good to see. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and close it out. Again, happy Valentine's Day. For those that are waiting to go get laid, it's time to go do so. Everybody have a kick-ass night, and we will see you next week.
Joe's girl got a belly that jiggles when moves. He's the king of the facts, yeah, he's got the groove. Sits in his chair, puffing clouds to the moon. His laughs like thunder, you can hear it boom.
Chunky Terry's got the mic, watch him go. Lighten up the truth while smoke billows slow. Making competition look dumb on the show. Chunky Terry's groove, baby, don't you know? Hell, dig through the dirt, find the gold in the grime. He's the Sherlock of podcasts, solving truths in no time. Got a joke for the jokers, a burn for the fools. Terry's the professor, rewriting the rules. He's got that wit, sharper than a blade. Takes no prisoners, leaves no shade.